Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering the rules for moving to Australia have been rewritten overnight. The visa you were planning on, the pathway you thought you had, might be easier than ever, or it could be completely gone. That is not a dream or a rumor. It is exactly what is happening from the 12th of August, 2025. If you are even thinking about applying for Australian permanent residency, you have stepped into one of the most high-stakes immigration moments in decades. This is not just a small update buried in a government file. This is a system reset. From this date forward, the Australian government has rolled out new reforms to the permanent residency process, and these reforms change the very foundation of how people are selected. The Department of Home Affairs is presenting these reforms as modernization, but let us be honest, it is a rewriting of the rules. For some, these new rules are going to open doors wider than ever before. For others, the doors may close completely. What you do in the next few weeks and months could decide which group you fall into. The first major change is to the points system, the backbone of skilled migration for years. Traditionally, applicants earn points for age, education, English skills, and work experience. Now, that balance has shifted. Skilled workers in priority fields such as healthcare, construction, advanced technology, and engineering are receiving up to 20 extra points just for being in one of these occupations. Imagine being a nurse or an AI developer and suddenly finding yourself pushed to the front of the line ahead of thousands of others. That is the scale of change we are seeing. However, for people in non-priority fields, the story is very different. If your occupation does not fall under the new critical shortage list, your points advantage could shrink. You might find yourself waiting much longer for an invitation. This essentially creates two very different experiences in the new system, one for those in high demand and another for everyone else. That is why it is so important to know exactly where your job stands in the updated list. The difference between being in core skills or supplementary skills is now the difference between fast-tracking PR or being pushed far back in line. Next, the age threshold is changing. Previously, anyone older than 45 had little to no chance of securing skilled PR. That hard cutoff is gone. Instead, there is now a sliding scale. Applicants between 40 and 50 years old can still apply, but they will need to prove stronger English skills or significant, exceptional work experience. This is a big deal for mid-career professionals who were once locked out of the process. It means the door has opened a little, but only if you can meet the new tougher standards. The third change is the regional priority push. The government has been clear for years. They want migrants to live and work outside Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. These reforms double down on that push. If you commit to living in regional hubs such as Adelaide, Townsville, or Launceston, you will not only get more points but also priority processing. That could mean your application is approved months faster than those applying for the big cities. For people who are flexible about where they settle, this is a golden opportunity to move faster through the queue. English language rules have also been reshaped. For employer-sponsored visas in critical shortage fields, the strict minimum English requirement can now be waived if the employer guarantees sponsorship. But for independent skilled visas, English matters more than ever. The higher your test score, the higher your points. This reform makes language proficiency a deciding factor for anyone trying to enter Australia without employer backing. If English is your strength, you now hold a big advantage. Another dramatic change is the restructuring of the occupation lists. Previously, there were multiple complicated lists covering short-term and medium-term occupations. Now, there are just two: core skills and supplementary skills. Core skills cover jobs the government says Australia cannot function without: healthcare, education, defence, tech, and energy. If you fall into this group, the pathway is wide open. Supplementary skills cover other trades and professions, but with stricter quotas, longer waits, and fewer chances of direct PR. This division effectively creates two classes of migrants. If you are already in Australia on a temporary visa, these reforms also affect you. For example, temporary workers on the 482 skill shortage visa in core skills occupations can now transition to PR in just 2 years. That is a significant cut from the old 3 to 4 year wait. But for supplementary skill workers, the transition could take 5 years or more. This sharp difference shows exactly where the government's priorities lie and why your occupation category matters more than ever. The official reason behind these reforms is to future-proof Australia's workforce. The government argues it will reduce backlogs, target economic needs, and ensure the right people are entering the system. Critics, however, say it creates a two-tier system. One for people in high-demand fields who get smooth, fast pathways, and another for everyone else who faces tougher barriers. Whether you see it as opportunity or inequality, one thing is clear. The rules of the game have changed permanently. So, what should you be doing right now? If your occupation is in core skills, this is your chance. Lodge your expression of interest quickly because points boosts, regional priority, and shorter processing times will make your journey faster than ever. Every day you delay is another day of competition, and once the invitation rounds start focusing on these new rules, the line will move quickly. Do not wait until you see others getting in ahead of you. For those in supplementary skill fields, do not give up, but be strategic. Look at options like regional relocation, employer sponsorship, or further study in a core skills field. Remember, the system now rewards flexibility and specialization. If you can adjust your path, you can still succeed. But sitting still and hoping the system changes back will not help. These rules are live now, and they are not going away. Let us also address one important factor: the competition. With these reforms in effect, applications will likely surge in the coming months. People in priority fields will rush to take advantage of the new boosts. That means the longer you wait, the further down the queue you fall. Speed, strategy, and preparation matter more now than ever before. This is also a wake-up call for temporary visa holders. If you are already working in Australia, you need to review your status immediately. A small change in occupation classification or regional location could shift your pathway from a 5-year wait to a 2-year approval. It is no longer about just being in Australia, it is about being in the right category. Families planning to move also need to think carefully. The new age sliding scale could benefit older applicants, but only if the family unit can demonstrate strong English skills and relevant experience. Couples may need to decide which partner applies as the primary applicant under the new rules to maximize points. These are strategic decisions that should be made quickly. The truth is, Australia is not closing its doors. It is reshaping them. For some, the opening is wider than it has ever been. For others, it is narrower and more challenging. But what you cannot do is sit back and wait. Immigration systems reward those who act quickly and strategically. This is one of those moments where hesitation could cost you your dream. By now, you should have a clear idea of where you stand. If you are in healthcare, engineering, construction, defense, or advanced technology, you are in the winning group. If you are in other fields, the pathway is tougher but not impossible. Either way, your next steps should be taken immediately. Every day counts under the new rules. Think of it this way: opportunities like this do not come often. Entire systems are not rewritten overnight. You can either see this as a roadblock or a once-in-a-generation opening. The decision is yours.